I first off just want to say I find this deeply inspiring as a weekend warrior myself. The idea
Excellent.
that you could just go out
Good.
there and compete with the young guys, Mike, is so cool. So I want to start by asking how hard it was to get into shape to approximate what this man did in real life. Like what was your
Hard.
process? And did he help you at all or give you some pointers? Or were you just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this?
Well, I was fortunate enough to have been the captain of my football team in high school, and I've always been athletic, and I've always had a very sort of athletic career with the shield and everything. But I've also done a lot of character work where I've gotten really heavy and then lost weight and gained weight. But fortunately, I've always kept in motion. And you have that muscle memory of, having played linebacker in high school. But I was 59 when I made this. And I'm just blown away that, listen, I can turn around and say, hey, Jordan, come in and get your clock cleaned for me. And he's my stunt guy. And he comes in and gets killed. He couldn't do that, and he'd have to have a 230-pound linebacker clean his clock, or a lineman, so I threw myself at it. I did the best that I absolutely could. And, I feel really good about it. I was thrilled when I heard the words, Michael, you're wrapped, and nothing broke. So that was a triumph for me in itself. Hey man, you know the difference. You're an athlete. When you hit the ground and you're 59, like your soul rattles, it's just different. When you're 19, you hit the ground, you just bounce.
I see it all the time. I mean, I play sports against kids, and it doesn't mean anything to them, and we're like fighting for our lives out there.
Yeah,
Mike,
exactly.
on that note, I gotta
Exactly.
ask you, man, like how just does the movie capture the insanity of it? It's hard to believe. It's really hard to believe that you did it.
Right. I was skeptical. I was cynical. I was like, what? He did what? And I'm reading the book and I'm like, holy cow, this guy's an animal. But
Yeah.
then I met him. And let me tell you something.
the these young guys, what they didn't understand, Mike, why don't you sit down? Why don't you relax? It's getting cold now, it's getting into the fall, and there's no way that I can sit down and let my muscles get cold and stiff. I've got to keep moving. So I was moving all the time, and they finally figured it out. Mike's got to stay warm, and
Well,
so
I asked him, how do you stay so fit? And aside from lifting, he's a sprinter. He likes to sprint
Hmm.
and to do what it takes to be able to sprint, keeps that quick twitch
yeah,
muscle,
fast twitch
fast twitch
muscle fiber, yeah.
muscle fiber
Yeah.
Yeah.
going.
That's a great thing to keep in mind, by the way. Mike, there's a personal journey happening in the film in addition to the part that I geek out over, which is the physical part. But like, tell me a little bit about the personal journey as you saw it in the movie versus how you lived it.
Well, the personal journey in the movie really is a reflection of a lot of what happened in real life. The whole thing came about as a result of my greatest regret in life, losing my senior year, and more than anything, the guys that I let down off that team. We winning championship caliber team. We'd gone 8-3 my junior year. We had everybody back. I get kicked out. They go 4-6-1. And I knew the kind of talent we had and that those guys would play for me as their team captain. And so, you know, bringing that back and then seeing that happen on the screen, and it was truly a reflection of what took place, what happened when I went back to play. It was amazing the parallels that they took from the true story, so that people that go and see this know that they really are seeing, for the most part, a true story.
I'm glad you could say that part just so we can reiterate it because it is amazing and it's fun. And as you're watching it, you're just like, it's not a pretend, this is not a
Yeah,
Hollywood
it's
adventure.
right. You got to remind
No,
yourself. You're like,
sorry.
this happened.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
really did.
Well, you know how they
Um,
say based on a true story?
yeah,
They should just say, this is a true story.
it's just hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
Michael, I want to ask you a little bit about an upcoming project real quick, The Mongoose, which is an action movie, and it just seems so exciting and it's got a
That's
great
fun.
cast, yourself included. What was the most fun part about that one for you?
Well, just getting a chance to work with Liam Neeson and Marissa Tomei and I went to college together.
I didn't know that.
So, and we had never had an opportunity to work together. I was a little frustrated on that movie, I have to admit, because I'm sort of like this arch villain and I'm sort of stuck in one location. And I wanted to have at it with Liam Neeson. I wanted to throw hands with him,
Yeah.
and I didn't get to do it. And next time, Liam, you and me, buddy. But I
Oh,
did get to hang with him and have some great dinners and stories with him. And he's a gentleman and funny and talented. And I love working in Australia. And greatest thing about Australians is the first thing they say when something goes wrong is "No worries, mate. She'll be right." It's just unflappable. There's no panic in them.
I
They're
love
tough
it.
as nails.
I love it. I want to see a sequel then, whatever happens, where you guys get to
Cool.
go at it.
But it's an action-packed flick, and it's great, smart, and really well made.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
want to, so coming back to this again, Mike, were you on set much or at all? Did you get to see it?
Wait, I got to do this. Sorry. So
Okay.
I'm playing this guy, and I've
Yeah.
met him, and and I've done the research, and I'm psyched and everything. But now he's like still on set. There he is, and there's Eileen, and I'm like, that's great. Are they gonna stay? And yeah, and they're like,
52 days.
they stayed every day. So at first I was daunted by that. I was like, hey man, but then, the more I got to know them, and it was very quick, and this, to know there he is. He's what you see is what you get. This is Mike. And Eileen's just couldn't be more lovely. And what happened was it turned out being a blessing because became my resource. They were so unobtrusive, but I was able to go to Mike and say, hey, Mike, what do you think about this? Or what happened during this time? And that, I think, made the movie much more accurate, much more real, right?
Yeah.
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 It was an asset to have him there.
Yeah. We were there, and we truly did want to stay in the background as much as we wanted to observe, but there were just some things that, we knew for the sake of the viewers, it would be, appropriate for us to step in and give a heads up about some things you don't say when you're down in Texas.
Well, I have to wrap, but I loved this. I really loved the story, and I loved how you guys put it together, and I want to thank you for it.
Oh,
And
so
it's
glad.
inspiring
Well,
and beautiful.
Thank you. We
everybody.
appreciate your interest.